Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today I decided to paint a turtle, and as you can see here, my canvas, which is quite big, it is relatively big. It's actually size 24 by 36 inch stretch canvas. You can use a proportionate canvas or material that you want for yourselves. It's just that I really want to paint on something big today. And as you can see here as well, my canvas is already backgrounded blue. So you can see some sort of gradient effect here. You can see some lighter blue shades here and darker blue on the bottom. That is because to give this an ocean feel, okay? Because we'll be painting a turtle that is underwater. So to save you time and to save myself some time, I already backgrounded it with the blue colors so that you don't have to watch me do the background with all the blue shades, okay? So again, these are just shades of blue. Just make your upper portion lighter and the bottommost portion darker, okay? So I'm gonna sketch first the subject so that you know exactly the positioning of the turtle. So I'll be using the following colors for today's tutorial. I hope you can see that because my camera is actually zoom out so that you know my canvas board or my stretch canvas is quite big. So I had to zoom out my camera. This is my titanium white, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, black, and dark brown. You can also use burnt sienna. So I'm going to sketch first the subject by using my dark brown, and we'll be occupying a diagonal portion of the canvas. So I'll be starting with the back because the back is actually the main, um, this is where a huge portion of the canvas will be used. So the back will be right here. So imagine you're painting a leaf. Okay, so this is the leaf. So that when you understand the shape, you don't have to think of it as a turtle's back. You only have to think of it as a shape. Okay, it's like a leaf, right? And then using the same color, I'm gonna do the head. Okay, and you know me, I'm just eyeballing everything. So if I make a mistake, I will just paint over it. So for this time, we're gonna draw a small uh, like a knot shape, okay, for the head. Of course, this is not the final look. We're just trying to get the general shape of what we're trying to paint here. Okay, we're going to extend it right here, okay? And then I'm gonna go and do the flap, the first flap. Actually, we're only doing a side view, okay, of the turtle. So we will only be doing one flap, which is good. You don't have to tire yourself. Okay, this is just the general shape of it. I will do a little bit of detailing later. Okay, now I'm gonna do the tummy part. So for the tummy, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of okay the tummy here. Okay, the shape of turtles are very easy. I love it. That's why I chose this. I chose this subject. It's very easy to do. I love it. Okay, and then for the I don't want to call it feet, but the the flap behind. Okay, let's just call it the flap behind. Like that. Okay. And Let's do a little bit of darkening right there. And also right here. Let's just darken it already. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay. And I might do a little bit of curving. I want it to be a little bit curvy. Okay, so a little bit of adjustment right there. Okay, now using a larger brush, I'm gonna get a large brush. Okay, and it's a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna get my dark brown again. Okay, and I'm gonna start darkening or underpainting the shell. Might add a little bit of black to that so that it's really dark brown. Okay, this is just the underpainting, so it is not the final color. Okay, we're just trying to get the general shape of it and the general base colors, but these are not the final look. Okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of adjusting right there. Yes, that's it. Okay. Some of you might wonder later because this is not the actual color of the shell, and I'll be painting over a lot of this color. But some of you, for those who are new, okay, to my channel, you might be wondering, or you might wonder, why on earth did I paint it brown and then later on the final color is not brown, really? Well, I will say it again. The underpainting is supposed to be darker than the actual color or the final colors. They are supposed to give the painting depth and dimension. So while it's true that you may do away with the underpainting, it really helps in providing your painting with some depth and making your painting more realistic. And it will make sense later. Okay, and then right here, okay, I'm gonna use my brown, but I'll be mixing it with my yellow ochre. Okay. Okay, I'll be adding a little bit of black to that. Okay, a little bit of black, more black. Mhm. All right, and just like that. I actually have my hair dryer right beside me, so that if I need to dry some areas, then I'm really good. Okay, I can dry things. Okay, now for the flap. Okay, for the flap, I'm gonna use my black. Okay, I'm gonna use my black for now. Okay, a little bit of adjusting. Now you don't have to make it solid black because some or a lot of these areas will be like grayish in color, the final colors. So don't think too much about, making it super solid black. I mean, you can do that, but I'm telling you now that um, it's not going to be the final colors. We're only doing the preliminary steps. Okay, some browns are mixing, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. Just black. Okay, I'm going to get my yellow ochre and I'm going to use it right away on this side. Okay, like that. Okay, some yellow ochre. And blend a little. Okay, like that. Then for the tip of the head, I'm just going to use black. Don't think too much about this one. Okay, and I'm going to mix with my yellow ochre and black. So it should appear a little bit green, actually. Again, don't think too much. Just apply it just the way I'm doing it, just like what I'm doing. Mhm. Oops. Ooh, did you see that? Like my paintbrush flew away. Okay, so I had to mute the microphone because you probably have noticed already that I'm feeling a bit under the weather. You can tell from my voice. But actually, I'm feeling so much better compared to yesterday. I was just feeling so bad yesterday. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my brush out. Okay, as I mentioned, I actually have my hair dryer right beside me. I think I'll be using that just to save you time. But first, I need to do some correcting. Okay, right here, you can tell that I accidentally, um, okay, like I'm gonna apply some lighter blues just to correct this one. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, we can always go back to this area. It's just that I don't want to forget to remove those uh, excess lines. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to use my hair dryer just to fasten the drying time. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my microphone again. Okay, so we're done drying it. It's not really super dry. However, it's dry enough for me to be able to paint over it and do the detailing part. So I'm gonna use my white. Okay, I'm gonna use my white. Okay, just to sketch the lines on the turtle's shell. So first I'm gonna start, some areas are still wet actually, but it's okay. So I'm gonna carefully, okay, I'm gonna carefully draw um, the details. Now it doesn't have to be in perfect, like the lines need not be perfect because that will only make your painting look more natural because we're painting, of course, a creature that is created by nature. So I'm gonna do the shell part first because I think this is one of my favorite parts of the turtle, the shell. The next one will be the flap because of the detailing that I really enjoy doing. And also the result actually. I'm always looking forward to seeing the result more than doing the project. If you're like me, let me know. I love seeing results. hmm That's why um, people tell me, or a lot of people I hear say that enjoy the process and all. But I guess I am the type of person who enjoy the results more than uh, the process. And I mean, consequently, or as an effect, I also find the process very enjoyable because I'm looking forward to seeing the result. I hope that makes sense. So even if the process is tedious, just thinking about the final result makes me actually push myself to finish the project, even if it's exhausting sometimes, you know? And I've also seen some people enjoying the process, okay? Enjoying the process, but not enjoying the final result. I mean, if you want that for yourself, I really don't like that for myself because results are more important for me. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do some highlighting right here. Just being honest with you. I want to be honest with you. You can hear that I still have some sort of coughing. Okay, I'm gonna highlight again this part. Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna do some detailing on the neck. I need more white because my white is not super white. It's more of brown. Okay, like that. And then, this area is a little bit wet, but I'm just gonna lightly um, run my brush through this area so that I get some natural looking brush strokes. Okay, like that. Also right here. Those folds that you see on the turtle? Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And I think I haven't mentioned yet that we'll be using our palette knives later, so get ready with your palette knives. Okay. And then I'm gonna highlight or I'm gonna outline the flap using some white. Okay. Just highlighting it. Doesn't matter if some lines are thicker or if some lines are thinner. It's actually one of the best things of painting natural objects. You don't have to be symmetrical, super straight, super equal. Okay? Nature is not like that. Okay, like that. And I'm gonna highlight this. Uh, is it the tail part? I don't know if turtles have tail, but I'm just gonna call it the back flap. I don't think they've got tails. I haven't seen a turtle with a tail. Okay, like that. Okay, in this area. Let's go back to the neck part. Oops, you can see that it's a little bit wet, but it's okay. I'm just gonna create some patterns. Okay, like that. Let's do a lot of folds. Okay, now I'm gonna use a different brush. I'm gonna get my black. I'm gonna get my black and I'm gonna go under this black or under the shell to give it um dimension. Mm-hmm. You need to wet the brush. You can use a thinner brush if you want. Okay, and let's go here. So I'm gonna darken like that. And let's do some more folds using black this time. I'll be using a palette knife here later. Okay, right here. Just darken this portion. Remember when we did this part? Oops, it's still wet. It's still wet. How come? It's still wet. Okay, like that. Okay, like that as well. Okay, now, okay, I'm gonna get my yellow ochre. Okay, my yellow ochre, and then a little bit of black. And I'm gonna use this. okay, on this flap, but I'll be using some watered down applications. So I'm not really gonna use my brush to apply the paint. I'm gonna use some watered down paints and use my hands or my fingers to apply it quite like a watercolor, you know? I know it's weird, but when you're doing techniques, you need to be weird. Okay, just water down. Remember that? Just water it down and apply it unevenly on the edge. It's okay if some colors are mixing, it's fine. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to gray. So using my white, I'm gonna add black. I didn't even wash my brush simply because I want the colors to mix. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do some taps right here on the flap. Okay, spread it quite nicely, quite unevenly. Okay. Okay, like this. This will make your life so much easier when you do this technique because uh, you're doing the markings without actually hurting yourself. It's so easy, actually. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to a finer or thinner brush. Gonna get my white. Use my white, and it's okay if you use a little bit of gray color, not pure white. That's absolutely perfect. And let's do some markings on the flap. I'm not going to make it like super perfect. Again, oops, sorry about that. Now I'm going to create some dots using white. I'm going to create some markings. I'm going to create some more irregularities like that. And then in the same manner that we did the blotting technique, I'm just gonna do the blotting technique right here using white. Okay, it's very noisy outside. You know me and my uh, dislike towards noise while I'm painting. Guess I have to turn off my microphone for now, okay? Okay, so it wasn't as noisy as I expected. So I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Okay, I'm gonna do some markings. I think this is the most challenging part because of the details, but once you're done with it, it's fine. I mean, of course, once you're done with it, it's fine. What I mean is that once you're doing it, you have no choice but to continue. It means that your ability or your being able to do it will only encourage you to keep going. Okay? It will not discourage you, I promise. Okay. I'm gonna get my yellow ochre. Okay, I'm just gonna do some blotting using some yellow ochre. Okay, so I had to again turn off my microphone because I was just coughing so hard. All right. Okay, and then here goes the ambulance. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the ambulance is gone. You know, my house is very near the main road. The main road, that's why I keep hearing street noise every single day. And they usually happen um, uh, when I'm painting. Okay, during that time when when I muted the camera, the microphone, I darkened, like I outlined this one to really separate that from the background. Okay, now let's go to the shell part. Gonna get my yellow ochre and mix that with black. Okay, and then gonna mix my lemon yellow with it. I'll be applying this in a very like abstract manner, just to make some markings on my turtle. Okay, so don't worry if everything is not making sense at the moment. It's fine if you judge the painting based on not being able to make sense. Okay, we're just trying to create some markings. I'm so sorry about my voice. Um, I promise you, I feel so much better. It's just that I'm in the process of full recovery, so you can still hear me. Like not very like still under the weather, but I'm so much better. Okay, let's create some markings. Okay, this is just so like so easy, so easy to do because you just have to make some abstract at the shell. I mean, on the shell part. Yeah, and then now I'm gonna use my black. Okay, let's do some black markings. Again, do it in a very abstractish way. Don't think too much. Just do it in an abstractish way. Okay, I'm gonna get my lemon yellow. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my white. Okay, and let's create some markings as well using white. My goodness, I was coughing so hard. Maybe because, I'm bending over because I'm painting on the floor. So my cough is being triggered by that. So sorry about that. Mhm. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna highlight this part. Okay, this part. Using some watered down white. And then I'm gonna mix it with my brown or my dark brown. Mm. Okay, like that. And then using some black. Okay. Using some black. And then some yellow and black. Because when you combine yellow and black, you get that greenish color. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's great. It's good. It's good. But we're gonna add the details later. It's still lacking some details. Now, I'm gonna let that dry before we do some more detailing that will give it more sense later. Okay, now I'm gonna use my dark blue. Remember that we darkened this one for the background? Okay, so we're just gonna do the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna use my blue. I'm gonna make it appear bluish. Simply because this turtle is underwater. Not because it's blue, but because of the water effects. Okay? And actually, the line that I did here is very thick, so you can definitely thin that down. Okay? Just like what I'm doing here. You don't need too much of a thick line right there. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of white to this area just to brighten it. But the way I am applying it is more of a dry brushing technique. Give it light. light effects. Okay, and then using some light blue, I'm gonna highlight this part. And just like that. Remove the harsh lines, the harshness of it. I really like it. And again, I apologize for my about my voice. It's just that I'm not. My voice is not really. I have cough and a little bit of colds. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna proceed right here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get my gray. So I'm gonna get my white and black and blue. Okay. Just add blue and do that. Okay. And now I think I need to get more black because I already ran out of black. So using black, I'm gonna use that to do some markings. No, just like what we did right here. You just tap to create a more natural looking, you know, marking. And then I'm gonna darken this part lightly, very lightly, just to give it some dimension. Okay. Like that. And then I'm gonna wash my brush out. I'm gonna get my white and I'm gonna highlight this part. Also thinning down that black paint that I applied. Now, you can go back to your lines because mine got painted over. So you can retrace that. Oops. I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna do some blobs of yellow ochre, but very, very tiny, okay? And very subtle. I mean, not tiny, but subtle. So I'm just gonna use this one. This, okay, this little blotting effect, very subtle. You don't have to overdo this. Don't overdo this. And then using black, do the same thing to create some markings. Okay, like that. Okay, we haven't done the face. Let's go back to the shell. So I'm going to use my white to brighten some areas. I'll be using my hands because by using my hands, I create that natural markings that we don't usually get if we're just using our brushes. I love using my hands when it comes to my paintings. I think they look more they look more natural when I touch them. Okay, this slightly touching it. Okay, slightly brushing. Okay, using your hands. And a little bit of markings, browns and blacks, to be more, again, natural. Okay. I think I forgot to mention, or if I didn't, if you remember, we'll be using burnt sienna because I'm using dark brown actually. So using some more black, I'm gonna do a little more line or pattern. It's mixing with the browns. Oh, my goodness. Just one more line. Okay. And then just go right here. Like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna use another brush. I'm gonna get my okay. Gonna get my burnt sienna. Why did I not? I should have prepared my burnt sienna already. Okay. Okay, now using my burnt sienna, I'm gonna mix it with white and black to gray it down. But I'm gonna dry brush right here on the shell. dry brush, meaning you have to remove the excess water and then just lightly touch on these areas to give it a more natural appearance. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the shell part. Remember to dry brush, okay? Remove the excess water. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with yellow. Okay, I have to remove the excess water. Okay, and maybe mix it with white. Go in different directions so that you create more of a natural pattern. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with black. Black. Let's do the same thing. Okay, and later we will do the palette knife. Okay, now using a clean brush, I'm gonna use my white to get back to the shell. I hope my microphone is on. It's on. You know, because the last time I muted my microphone and I thought I pressed the unmute and I wasn't able to really press it like properly. So I kept on talking without sound. But then it was the last 10 minutes of the video. So it was fine. I had to do a voiceover for the last 10 minutes. And I don't want that to happen again because what a hassle. What hassle it cost me. I mean, um, could have been not that way, but I wasn't being very careful. I'm gonna highlight the neck part. I'm gonna do a little bit of tapping right here. And then I'm gonna highlight again the shell. Okay, great. Now let's go to the neck part. So I'm gonna use my white and I'm gonna use the tip of my brush to um, do some detailing on the head. some white markings right here. Okay. And then we'll do some grays. So I'm gonna use my black. Okay. And I'm gonna water it down and do some blots. Again, this blot. I also call it the bleeding technique because the paints kind of bleed, like it's super watered down, so it's going to bleed, giving that watercolor effect. Of course, this is not watercolor, and you'll probably wonder why I'm doing it. It's technique, okay? When it comes to technique, there are no manuals for that. Techniques are more of applied science. Like you learn it by practice. You don't learn it by reading a book. You don't learn techniques from the book. You only learn the basics from the book. But when it comes to your own technique, it comes with practice. And of course, it comes with different subjects that you take up. Okay. So I'm going to darken a little bit of some areas right here. Give it dimension and variety and interest. And then using some gray color, lightening some parts. Okay. And then using some yellow ochre. Yellow ochre plus yellow. Okay. I'm gonna highlight, or I'm gonna do some blotting technique on the head. You don't want to smudge it. Okay. And also right here on the neck part. Somewhat right here. Okay. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna get my burnt sienna because I also want to have some burnt sienna going on the flap. Oops. And also here. Also on the shell. Okay, like that. Let me check. Okay, this is nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let's use the palette knife. This will also do a very good job. So I'm gonna use the back of my palette knife. Let's see if my microphone is on. All right, getting paranoid. So I'm gonna use the back of my palette knife. I'm gonna dab onto my yellow, okay, and black without mixing them, and I'm just gonna do some markings. Gonna mix white to that. So I'm just gonna apply it like this. Also right here and right here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna use my black to do the same thing. Okay. And also right here on the shell. Oops. Okay. And let's go back to detailing it. Okay. I'm gonna use my white. I want to highlight the shell very slightly. That. Okay, and then using some more white, I'm going to create some more markings on the shell. I think the more markings that a turtle has on the shell, I think the older the turtle is. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I remember it. Okay, I'm gonna brighten this part. I'm gonna brighten it. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Okay. Then I'm gonna do some more markings on the neck. Then I need to get some black. Let's do some folds. Okay. I mean, we did it already, but we need to reemphasize it because it got painted over when we're doing some details. Okay. And you may want to, again, just do the markings, the shell part, I mean, the flap, because it got painted over. I mean, mine got painted over. If yours did not get painted over, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just fixing it because, okay, I did a lot of dry brushing here, so it got painted over. Okay. I'm just gonna outline it. Okay. So I forgot to highlight to outline it. And then I'm gonna darken this part to give it dimension. Let me check. Oh, that's nice. This is so nice. Okay, I think I need to do some glazing. So I'm gonna do a little bit of glazing. This is one of my favorite techniques. Okay, glazing. Okay, so using white. Okay, I'm gonna use my white, but I'll be removing the excess water from my it's actually not glazing, it's more of dry brushing, but in effect it's glazing my painting. So removing the excess water and just try to highlight some areas, okay, as I see it. Be very careful not to smudge anything. We don't want that. If you're not sure if your painting is dry, you may use your hair dryer, or you just have to wait for it to dry completely before you do this, because sometimes you just can't estimate. Okay, but me, I've been painting for years, so I know. Okay, so here I'm gonna highlight this part. I'm gonna get my blue. I don't like my blue color. Make sure that it's a little bit blue so that it's consistent with water. Remember, this is underwater, okay? And speaking of blue, just gonna get my blue color and I'm gonna run through this area using blue, like this. A suggestion of water. Okay, that's nice. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my burnt sienna plus yellow in white. And I really need to brighten a bit this part of the shell. So I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighting. Okay, like that. And using some black, water down. Okay. I need to, oops, you see, it's still wet. I need to darken some areas now. Okay, right here. And also right here on the tummy area. Just darken it very slightly so that you give it more dimension. Okay. I love this. You can actually obsess with the markings. You can do whatever markings that you want. And using some pure white, we're almost done. Almost done. Gonna give it more markings. So this is just burnt sienna. You can even apply some burnt sienna here on the neck if you want. And then highlighting the neck part. Give it. Okay. I'm just re-highlighting it. Okay. Nice. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna sign this now. I really like this one. My goodness. Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight a little bit. I love it. I really, really love it. Okay, I'm gonna sign this now. I'm super excited. I'm gonna use my white to sign right here. Okay, and we're finished. Wow. I hope you enjoy that one, guys. I hope you paint along with me. I'm gonna link in the description box below some other painting tutorials that are underwater or water related paintings of mine so that you can choose from among them, including this one. To see you in my next one and have a great day. And again, I apologize about my voice, but I still hope that you enjoy the tutorial and that you're painting along with me. Okay? See you in my next one. Bye, guys. Mm. Mm. Love you.